You were selected to be a part of the premier group of Mariachi Spectacular All-Stars because you are considered a torch carrier of the mariachi flame. What does that mean to you?
That's first of all, it's very humbling. It's a great honor to be considered for this group. Absolutely, but I think it's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of students that are looking up to us, just as we did when we were younger. And I think more than anything, it's an honor and a responsibility for us to try to instill these values in the younger generation that are going to be beneficial for them, and not only in music, but in their entire life.
Tell us about your first experience with mariachi music. Was it part of your family, something you discovered on your own? Did you learn in school? Can you share?
Okay, well, I might have something a little bit different than the rest because I don't come from a musical family whatsoever. So my first mariachi experience was in high school. I joined orchestra in the 6th grade. We immigrated when I was 8, so from Mexico. So when I was a freshman, my older brother was a senior, and he was looking for extracurricular activities. He was like, let's join mariachi, and I didn't really want to because I didn't care for mariachi. And my mom was like, you need to join with your brother because you're got to be a good brother. So I joined, played violin, and then the rest is history, pretty much. That's how it started.
Was it at this time that you became passionate about the music, or did it come a little later on?
I think there was a certain passion, but it didn't really evolve into, I guess, like it's my career, it's my life nowadays. I was actually a jazz musician when I was in high school. That was kind of my thing, and I actually left home to go study jazz because I thought I was never going to play mariachi anymore. Thought I was going to be a big band arranger and all this craziness. And then I got to college, and then I needed to eat, so I started gigging. And then I realized how much I loved it, how much I missed it, and that's when I was already in college when it really started to develop. And then everything just came together for me after that.
Have you personally witnessed any positive changes in any students you've taught?
I think so, yes. I have been lucky and fortunate to teach all over the country in many different places, and I feel that I've seen high academic rigor and in a lot of these mariachi programs. I've seen many valedictorians, I've seen many salutatorians that end up doing a lot, maybe not necessarily in music, but they end up doing a lot academically in the future, become doctors, end up going to Stanford, end up going to, great schools. And I mean, that's everything to me, really. I think beyond the music, I think mariachi and music in general has a huge effect in that sense.
Who do you consider to have the most influence in your musical career? Now, is that the same person that continues to inspire you today?
That's a tough question because I think we all gather influences from everywhere. As I mentioned, I wasn't really a dedicated mariachi musician even in high school. So I can probably say that one of my best friends in high school, he was the one that was kind of pushing me musically, and he made me rise to a level that I didn't know I could do because we kind of competed against each other, and he pushed me a lot. So I have to say he was probably my biggest influence, and my life has evolved a lot since then. And I like to think that Rigoberto Alfaro, who's a arranger for Mariachi Spectacular, has probably been my biggest influence in the past few years. After being able to meet him through Mariachi Spectacular, it's a dream come true, and it's also really been extremely influential for my work in general.
As a role model for younger generations, how do you hope to inspire this generation in the way musicians who are such a major part of the Mariachi Spectacular of Albuquerque may have inspired you?
So I think that the best way to inspire, well, maybe not the best way, but one of the best ways to inspire is to play with students that are maybe not in a level that they want to be at. And I think that through jam sessions and through the Spectacular, we got to experience a lot of these high performance players. And there's something to playing next to somebody, violin, trumpet, armonia. When you're playing next to somebody who carries so much musical weight, it's just, there's nothing, you just want to catch up to them, And I think that I like to provide that for students that maybe are not the level they want to be, whether it's a jam session or through a class or a lesson. You can see it in their eyes, they want to kind of be able to do what you do, or maybe even further, which is obviously, I guess, the goal for them to be even better than yourself. And I would like to inspire students, maybe more in the practical sense, like directly playing next to each other. That's how I feel that I've got a lot of my inspiration through some of the greats.
Can you tell us, how did you select your instrument?
Well, I am actually a multi-instrumentalist, so I think it's part of my personality. I do a lot of different instruments, so it's been difficult. I played violin in high school, but violin was my primary instrument for a long time, and it was just kind of happenstance because, again, when we came immigrated, it was my brother played cello, and they were like, "Oh, you can do duets with him, play violin." So it was just kind of luck. But as I got older, I think my primary instrument now is trumpet, which is what I'm playing here at the conference. I love the instrument. I feel it's the power that it carries is it can make or break a group. A great trumpet player, a great lead trumpet player can make a group go from, an 80 to 100. And even if the rest of the group might not be there, I just think the responsibility and the volume and the color that it brings, it's the most expressive, in my opinion. Maybe I'm biased because I like it. Other than the voice, I think it's kind of like it lends itself to the most expression and responsibility in the group.
Where do you see yourself as it relates to mariachi in 20 years?
Hopefully still playing mariachi. I would like to think that I will be teaching. I would be playing. I don't see my life any other way, writing. But I think that as technology changes, maybe more venues or more opportunities are going to happen. I make most of my living nowadays writing for groups all over the country, and I've been able to exploit that through the technology. You can write anywhere. You can write on a plane. You can email people. You can do this with the internet. And if I had told myself 15 years ago that I was going to be doing this for a living, it would just kind of maybe not be believable. So who knows? I mean, obviously, absolutely in the mariachi world, but maybe new technologies or new ventures are going to open up within as it comes out.
What piece of advice would you share with young people who want to start a career in mariachi?
Well, we could talk about this for about 2 hours, right? But I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that I ever got was from Rigoberto Alfaro. He told me many years ago, he said, as a writer, he encouraged me to write every piece as if it was going to be my greatest hit. He said, imagine anything you write is going to be heard by the entire world. It's going to be your magnum opus. And I guess that correlates to musicians as pretty much don't just go for it every single time you do, whether you're practicing, whether you're gigging at a house party, you're gigging at Teatro de Gollado in Guadalajara. Always, keep yourself to the highest standard, no matter what you're doing. And I try to apply that to my writing because I'm mostly a writer, but also to my playing. And if you kind of just hold yourself accountable every single time, whether it's in your bedroom or whether it's, again, in Carnegie Hall, I think that kind of just going to push your level to a place where you won't even believe it.
How has mariachi impacted your life?
Every possible way. I think that the biggest influence and the biggest way it's affected me is that I've been able to meet incredible people all over the country, all over, I would like to say the world. I've been to Mexico a few times with mariachi, but the kind of people, the kind of cultures I've met, the kind of musicians and friendships I've forged and relationships is absolutely priceless. I don't think if I had been an engineer per se or whatever, there's no way I would be traveling as I do and meeting the kind of people that I meet. So just the personal relationships I built are priceless and worth it in itself. All right, my name is Josue Lopez, and I am a 2021 Mariachi Spectacular All-Star, and I play the trumpet.